What's up, everybody? Sir Spookfest here. So, I figured I'd read a couple more stories out of this, or ghost to ghost, creepy stories. Washington, D.C. And after I read these two stories here, I'll probably tell my UFO story again, just to, get it out there and let people hear it again, just in case you haven't heard it. Washington, D.C., location Massachusetts Avenue, Rhode Island Avenue, Connecticut Avenue, Vermont Avenue, K Street. Uh, this one is weird. I've heard this before and I've looked at that, and it's actually pretty weird. Plenty of people think the politicians aren't always trusted, but the stories are true. 5 streets in Washington, D.C. laid out specifically to give satanic path to the White House. The 5 streets concerned form an intersection pentagram that point directly at the seat of power, welcoming the Prince of Darkness to his new seat upon his throne. According to those who believe that, the pattern of the street's accidental pentagram was laid out by a cabal of Freemasons who had been given the task of setting out the early city plan. By including this accidental symbol, they hoped to ensure that the devil and his minions could walk right into the Oval Office. While some have claimed that any such patterns were merely accidental, the others say there is proof that it really are hellish business for politics. And it is weird. If you look this up, there's other symbols too that are around Washington, D.C. Pentagram and the obelisks and these pagan things and all these different witchcrafty type things and satanic symbolism. It's pretty weird. I've looked into it a little bit, but definitely a strange one. Alright, let's do Delaware. The Ghost of the Chew in Delaware in Dover. Before his death in 1744, Samuel Chew, the Chief Justice of Supreme Court of Delaware, despite being well-liked and fair to the people, his name made him a subject of mockery. The locals would sneeze as he passed and pretend chewing. However, Mr. Chew continued to be mocked even in death. His spirit decided that's enough of it is enough. Chew appeared all over town, terrifying the locals by tapping shoulders and pulling hair and knocking cocktails over and stalking the halls of the courthouse. Late one night, Mr. Chew appeared before farmer David Hendrick, one of the men who had mocked him, his judge's robes billowing in his wig and a deathly white. A year later, he appeared again to another man who had mocked him, Miller Peter Drongle. Drongle dropped his lantern during a storm and had stopped to retrieve it. The judge's specter appeared right in front of him. Then Miller ran for his life. Like Hendricks before him, told everybody what he had seen and what happened. The terrified locals took to their homes after dark and taking tumbled locals turned owner mistress Van Loon knew that something had to be done. She called a meeting for the town and the townspeople to hold a secret funeral, a different funeral, this one for Mr. Chew. Ghost in his grand and respectful service, an empty coffin was buried in order to lay Judge's unquiet spirit to rest. Once the cemetery had concluded, nobody knew him spoke ill of the judge again. Thought Mr. Chew mostly rest easy. It is said that he still appear to those who dare to decide to mock him, or leaving them with a fright they never will forget. The ghost judge of mocked in death will also live in life laid to rest without a burial of an empty coffin. Like adding another coffin to, and there's where he's buried. So that's a pretty crazy story. I've never heard this one at least. The Washington one with the streets, that one's interesting. We'll do some more of these because they're fun. We'll do Maryland and New Jersey tomorrow, maybe New York. But I also wanted to talk about my first UFO experience and just tell the story again. So I was in Maine, 2003. I'm with my sister and 3 other friends, and we're walking over to this beach. It's a big beach on the lake up in Maine. This lake is surrounded by mountains, and it's maybe a mile across. And not a huge lake, but you could see the other side, and like it's pretty big, mile by a mile. And we walk over. It's about 9:30, 10 at night. Uh, I'm 15 or 16. My sister's a little older. The other kids are around the same age. And we walk onto this beach, and there is just this giant orange orb made the size of a small house, floating maybe 100, 200 feet above the lake, just sitting there. And it did look like a sun, like swirling big ball. A lot of people will say ball lightning, but this thing had intention, like it was like something looking at us and studying the area or checking out the lake. You could see the reflection of it off the lake. We all just stood there for maybe not even a minute, and I started waving. Uh, we're all watching this thing about a minute, and then it just zoop, and like kind of zigzags and shoots off into space. After that, we're all just staring, and I'm thinking like, wow, we just saw a UFO. That was definitely not anything I've seen before. This thing, the way it moved, seemed like it was under intelligent control of some sort. And it's relevant because of all this disclosure and people saying, I mean, thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people have witnessed UFOs. But I've even talked to my sister on a live chat about it. She's told what she remembers from the story of seeing this UFO. Now, after waving at it, we ran away, went to go tell our parents. They're like, you saw a flare or a firework or, whatever. They didn't see what they thought they saw. Other people camping on the waterfront did see it. I remember hearing the other parents saying, yeah, we saw something, a big orange ball in the sky, so the kids aren't lying about it. I think they all just chalked it up to like fireworks or a flare. Somebody shot off a flare. But after waving at it, and at least 3-4 weeks, maybe even longer, I had dreams of looking down on the beach, and I could see my sister and my friends standing on the beach right near the water, and I'm like waving down at them from where the spot of this UFO was. That dream still happens once in a while if I have like a weird encounter. I had one in Yorktown last year, and a red orb went past, and then I started having the first experience UFO dream again. Maybe 3 times I had that dream after I seen another red orb. That story, driving through back roads of Yorktown, just doing deliveries. I think a plane is coming in for a landing. I'm near a airport, so I'm like, it's just a plane. I thought I could see like the flashing lights. It's only like maybe 100 feet above the tree line, and I'm going through these back roads, and I'm like, oh wow, it's right above me in a car right in front of me. So we kind of slowed down, we both did, and this thing turns into a red orb, shoots off at like the same thing with that orange orb that I saw. It's just probably the size of a big SUV, a good sized car. So maybe it was one of those drones that were going around, I don't know. But red orb, even like you could tell, like it lit up the treetops, shot off, and I'm driving. I realized my GPS had glitched and sent me 5 minutes past, maybe 3 miles past my destination. As soon as the thing took off and was gone, I was like, wow. So I'm pulling over right at the end of the airport. Like I can see the airport strip, so, and I'm kind of freaking out. I start recording and talking about it right after it happened. But the red orb had gone, and I was looking at my phone before I started recording. It glitched, like the whole thing went wonky again, and then it said 3 miles from your destination, and I actually watched it glitch. I didn't notice it had glitched the first time, but then I'm like, wait, why am I so far from my destination? It took me past my destination 3 miles. So I don't know, but having the dream and waving down at my sister and stuff, um, I still don't know what that was, what we saw. And it's just a true story. I know just telling these stories, and you can either believe me or not, but it's, up to you guys. I hope you're enjoying these. I'll probably do some more ghost stories from different states or legends like those. I'm going to be going out Thursday night, this coming Thursday, to a patch of woods. It should be fun. I just want to go out, try a few things, see if we capture anything paranormal. So hopefully something. We never know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think it's like haunted woods or anything. But yeah, you guys have a great day. Peace out. I'll see you soon.